Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Škoda T27. It's a Tier 8 Czech premium medium tank. It's located on the north spawn of Malinovka Encounter, and this one is under the command of Cross of St. George. Now that's the alternate name for a player who's actually frequently played, and he's got multiple accounts. He's frequently sent us replays. And well, he sent us this one, so it's worth doing. Lots of people playing Czech tanks at the moment, and most of them are trying to move up the tech tree to gain the top tier Czech heavies. This tank's been around for a little while. Of course, it was one of the premium tanks brought out on the Czech line. In fact, it's one of only, if I remember correctly, only two Czech premiums, because the other one being the Škoda T40. It's armed with an 88mm gun, and a lot of Czech tanks do have, well, should we say, German connections. It's a 3-shot autoloader, 240 Alpha. He only got one shot on target there, hit the Su-130 PM on the enemy team, who's not going to be very happy. You can see him there over in the distance. Now, it's got penetration of 202mm with standard, and well, premium rounds will go through 242mm, but you can see that Cross of St. George doesn't actually like using premium ammo. Now, if you wonder why it was like slightly off to one side, that's because I was using free camera at the time. I should have been using standard. There's no fiddle going on here. That was purely down to me. Now, Cross of St. George, as I say, he doesn't like using premium ammo. He believes the game should be played and can be played using standard ammo. Admittedly, I don't have any problem with people using premium ammo. If they are trying to get marks, it can be very, very useful to guarantee the damage that you need. Gets 3 shots into that heavy tank number 6. He's also got an 88mm gun. Now the thing about this autoloader is that it dials in slightly slower than it aims, which means, or rather it loads slightly faster than it aims, which means it can be a bit of a problem, because if you try to fire the shells too rapidly, the last 2 shells will probably be less accurate than the first 2, or the first one. It does help to let it dial in first. He missed the chance of a kill there on the T37. His teammate in the Hellcat got it instead. Now, intra-clip reload is normally 23 seconds. He's got 21.32. He took a round there from an A43. And he's taken another one into the observation device. The A43 is being very cheeky, but I think he has gone unspotted now. So the A43 is just firing in this direction on the off chance he might hit something. Likewise, he can't see the A43 at the moment, but he's guessing where he is using manual aim. Yeah, he's acquired the spot, but he didn't acquire the A43. Got to watch out that he doesn't poke his rear end out too far. Ah, okay, they both spotted each other. Now, rounded turret managed to bounce that round. Now, the turret armor isn't that great on this tank. It's fairly thin. If I remember correctly, it's 100mm, but don't quote me on that, because I think actually Tanks GG don't have the actual figure to hand. I will put a note in the text later if I can confirm it. But the hull armour is only 65mm at the front, 40 at the sides and rear, and it's saying there's 100mm at the rear of the Škoda T27. I think it's actually 100mm at the front. It's a very lightly armoured medium tank. I have the feeling he was hoping that he might be able to sneak round on the west side of the map to try and get into the enemy rear. And he's been spotted by that AMX 12 ton, which means the A43 will probably have a clear shot on him, so he needs to pull back. Okay, there's the AMX. Just about make out where it was, but he's lost sight of him now, so if he does acquire the AMX will probably acquire him. Remember, that is a light tank. We seem to be doing rather well up on top of the hill. We're 2 tanks up on the enemy, and it looks like we're about to capture the hill. There's only 2 enemy tanks back up there, and okay, on the top of the Scorpion, he just misses it. That's the American Scorpion, by the way, tier 7. The one with the 90mm gun. You shouldn't be disrespected those, because they are actually very powerful. Virtually no armor, but that 90mm is very effective. And they can be very sneaky as well. Well, the enemy just killed our 110 up on the hill. It's not so certain that we're going to capture the hill now. And that Type 64 is taking one hell of a risk moving about the field the way he is at the moment. Mainly from the AMX-12 ton and the A43 getting a shot into him. Over that, the Scorpion having a go. Also, it should be noted that Stura Mill is actually taking up position at little copse of trees just north of the lake, the South Lake. And that's a very good hiding spot for shooting up at the hill or at anyone trying to get near their spawn point area or cap, old cap or standard cap. But this is an encounter game, so the cap is actually right in the centre of this field, or not dead in the centre, but close to the lake. You know where I am, what I mean. Only 1 tank difference now. It's by no means certain that we've got the hill. The speed of this medium tank normally enables you to actually get fairly good damage on the enemy in quick strikes. The only problem really with it is that 240 alpha isn't that much, and you only get 3 shots, which means that you're going to get 720 hit points of damage if you get an average roll on each one, and you'll be able to do that with the inch clip reload time being 1.8 seconds? I think it's 1.8. So it means that within 4 seconds you've actually done 720 hit points of damage, but you've got that long reload then for 23 seconds. Wasn't worth another shot. He ought to pop the reload. He's waiting to see if the A43 will pop up again. That Scorpion keeps going up, and the A43 appears to have gone straight towards the cap. I popped the reload. He's holding that shell in. Of course, it does have a fairly good advantage to the ELC Ever 90 in that that's got a 3-shot autoloader, but that's got a 27-second reload for those 3 shells, whereas this is a bit faster. So it is very much worth popping the reload once you've actually fired just 1 or 2 shells and getting a full mag. Okay, he's popped the reload now. If you do get one of these, it is a premium tank. It's not on sale all the time, but it is definitely worth considering. You know, keep your finger on that reload button just in case you've blown a couple of shells, because you might need more shots into the enemy. Okay, he's just got a pixel shot on the A43. It's worth taking. The 88 is fairly accurate, and he does get 1 hit, T237, so you can see it is fairly accurate gun. It does have good gun depression. It's got 8 degrees. It's got good acceleration, 50 kilometers an hour top speed. And of course that 3-shot autoloader. But the thing is that it does have subpar AP penetration. In fact, that's what he's got at the moment. It's not that great on pen. It's supposed to have poor gun handling, but you saw there he actually did manage to get good solution on the A43. I did mention the long aim time, and of course it has got, as I said, weak armour. It's a standard medium tank, but it's actually originally designed as a kind of post-war light tank, a variant of a light tank. Seems like the A43 is trying to force us to... No, don't go past the buildings, because that Sturry Mill might be watching. There's the Scorpion. Good shot. You can see the shell velocity is actually quite good, and he gets another one in. So 2 hits on the Scorpion. Shell velocity is 1015 meters per second, which means that basically point and shoot, it will actually hit target. There's the Sturry Mill. Okay, he needs to get rid of that guy because he could be a real problem, especially if he's got the 128. And he puts a round into the Scorpion, making him a one shot, and he's potentially got a high caliber for getting 20% of the enemy hit pool. There is only one enemy left now. The A43, he's in the cap. Go fetch! And considering he's already got 1 reset, he could get a defender medal out of this if he can get the reset. So he needs to motor and try and beat the Type 64. And he's... Don't let the Type get the kill first. Oh, it looks like he did get the reset. So no defender medal, which is annoying, but he ram kills the A43 for the victory. If only that Type had left him alive or left him capping, there would have been a defender medal. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker game for Cross of St George in the Škoda T27. He managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 12 in this one. And he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall. And a win ace of 5,948, which is Super Unicum standard. But sadly, no defender medal, I'm afraid. That was taken away from him by the Type 64. Oh, what a pity. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, 3,291 hit points was the highest damage in the game. The second highest was the Striv S1, who got 2,877. And the third highest damage went to the IS3 on the enemy team with 2,676. When it came to kills, it was actually shared by the IS3 and the Lorraine 40 ton on the enemy team. Both got 4 kills each. 3 kills went to the Striv S1 and the Type 64, and yes, he got an All-X medal in that game. And then 2 kills went for Cross of St George, the IS, on his own team. So lots of shared medals there. If we look at the number of base XP, we can see it's the Striv who did the best with 1,093. 1,053 went to the Type 64 and 874 went to Cross of St George. I suspect that the Type 64 managed to get some spotting. Yes, he did. 2,432, which is why he did so well. All-X medal obviously is for killing 2 or more enemy tank or tank destroyers in a light tank, and they have to be at least 1 tier higher than himself. So he was being quite effective, but if only he hadn't fired that last shot, because you see he got 66 defense points at that point where he reset the A43, and if only that had gone to Cross of St George, he would have definitely got a defender medal. He fired 25 rounds, got 13 direct hits and 13 penetrations, damage of 3,291 hit points, of which 2,741 were at more than 300 meters, so most of his damage was done at long range. 5 hits received, 2 penetrations, 3 non-penetrations, and as I said, the armour is not very strong, so you're very lucky if you get a non-penetrating shot, but I think those were rounds that literally bounced off the roof of the vehicle, because it's got a nicely rounded turret, and the turret's fairly decent on armour, even if the hull isn't. 230 hit points of damage blocked by armour. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 destroyed, and he got 19 hit points of damage assistance. This is the important bit. Yep, it's definitely confirmed. He would have had a defender medal if only that Type 64 had not reacted the way he did. He got 2 capture points, but he got 43 defense points with the original reset. So if you add that to the 66 that the Type 64 managed to get with his shot, then yes, he would have had 100 defense points and a defender medal as well. So yeah, that Type, not very nice thing to do. He probably should have known. He probably went in thinking he would get a defender medal, but he probably should have known that there was already been 1 reset and Cross of St George was the guy who wanted it, and that's why he told him to assist. 83,816 credits to the game, 40,000 for completing a mission, 123,816 credits altogether. After repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and remember, standard ammo, because he doesn't carry any premium, he made a whopping great profit of 111,776 credits for that one game. 1,311 XP times 4 for the first victory, 2,622 for completing a mission, 131 because this is a premium vehicle you actually pay for, and 7,997 experience points altogether. He says, hi Cal, underrated tank, an underrated tank, yes, ideal matchmaking. It was actually quite good. He tried not to actually take any damage, so he actually what he was doing down there was actually just preventing the enemy from capping or making their way around the west side of the map to actually attack our guys in the rear. So he was actually a flank protector, and he did very well under the circumstances, getting a high caliber because he wasn't at the business end of the fighting, which was actually going on at the top of the hill. But even so, even though he was doing a flank protection, he did do well to get a high caliber out of it, and it just goes to show that that 88mm gun, the autoloader, is very, very good. It's got a fast fire rate, and even though it does take a little while to dial in, it's very fast on the shells, so it's very accurate. So point and shoot, you get what you hit, and you get what you aim at, rather, and you hit what you aim at. Let's get it right. And so yes, he was very effective in that game. I believe actually, what was it? I was actually saying earlier that maybe he actually did get some shots on the A43, some blind shots, or was it on somebody else? It's not showing there anyway, so maybe he didn't get a blind shot. But we know that he did hit the A43, at least one penetrating shot there, and of course got the ram kill at the end. So, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.